I'm gonna go with you can hear me now. I'm going to hope that. I'm going to assume that. That's what we're gonna do. So, turns out, the last stream I did, something was odd with my equipment. So, instead of it automatically recording from my headset, for whatever reason, it was trying to record directly from my PlayStation camera, which I have the microphone muted, because it freaks me out to have two mics going at once. That's besides the point. So, what I was originally saying from the beginning of that last goddamn stream was, the plan was to drop a voting thingy on my Instagrammy and my Facebook, and I'm not going through all the other ones, it was just too much work, but it was a, here's what I got. What do you want to see and vote? We didn't get enough votes for it to honestly matter. What we did happen to do is still turn it to you, the viewer, and the grand total on the winning video was 80 plus views on the Sega Classic Collection. The issue with the Sega Classic Collection is, like I said before, my fucking Battlefront collection, both of those seem to decide when they want to work and when they don't. So it didn't work. But what came in number 2 was XCOM 2. Oddly enough, isn't that odd? Isn't that weird? Isn't that strange? That number 2 is XCOM 2. It's a part 2 of a game and came in ranked number 2 with 40 plus views. So as you, the viewer, had decided that this is one of the top ranked games that you like to watch me play, we are going to go ahead and make that the last stream of 2018. Now, I had originally said in the last stream, but you couldn't hear, I didn't hate 2018. Kind of liked it. Matter of fact, throughout 2018, I went from working for a great company, Hard Time Sundays, and moving over to working for a couple of different kitchens and managing in different ways. Things have been great. I mean, I did a cooking competition in Florida in February, which was amazing for the Food Network. It was awesome. We didn't win, but fuck them. Still free trip to South Beach, which was awesome. And then I did, my whole thing, cooking and learning different techniques, and then moved back to come back to work for Hard Time Sundays, and now I'm managing the kitchen there for the better part of the last 6, 7, 8 or so months. Yeah, it's a thing. Things are great. YouTube channel is doing well. This one, Mike's Variety Show, is slowly growing. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is 2018 was a good year for me, and I'm expecting nothing but growth in every aspect of my life in 2019, including, if you didn't know, the baby that is on the way. It's awesome salsa. But one thing that I want to get from you guys as you're watching this or coming back to catch it after the fact, whether it's live or not, doesn't really matter. I hate it when I hear a YouTuber whom is gaming ask the question of, what is your favorite game? The issue with that for me is not that I don't care and I don't want to know what your favorite game is. My thing is that over the last 10 years, there's really only 5 or 6 major decisions that everybody makes as to what their favorite game is. Whether it's a Call of Duty, Gears of War, Halo, what have you. They're mostly all FPSs, or they're Skyrim, they're World of Warcraft, they're RPGs in one way or another. And I like the idea of asking you what your favorite type of game is. So, is it a strategy game, RTS, or just straight strategy like StarCraft and Warcraft or Age of Empires? Is it a FPS? Is it, and if you want to put in there, it's, specifically Call of Duty, or I like The Order. That game was phenomenal as far as I'm concerned, which I just started playing it, and great game as far as I'm concerned. I also like tower defense games. Big thing for me. I've always been into them since they came out. My first introduction to the tower defense game, if you go back and watch me playing Defense Grid, is when, what do you call it, when StarCraft, when it first came out, the original StarCraft, and then online gameplay for that was a thing. Player created maps and game modes were created, and there was one game mode that I loved more than any other one. I mean, I loved the regular gameplay of creating an army and destroying people. It was awesome. But there was nothing like a weird tower defense game where we all drop as many of these fucking rocket launchers and pylons and proton towers as you can to just stop the enemy from essentially getting from point A to point B. I like those kinds of games. Yes, they're very simple, but in their own way, I don't want to say they're complicated, but there's a lot of strategy behind it, and I love a strategy-based game in any way. Whether it's an RPG, an RTS, a regular strategy game, even an FPS. They got their own strategy behind it because even in Call of Duty, you need to base on what direction you're going to go on. You need to be able to figure out where people may or may not be coming from. Granted, there's only 3 major directions, left, right, middle, and they're coming at you from all those, but if you play these games enough, you can more or less figure out that everybody kind of veers to the right. Depending on what country they're from, I think, or at least I like to think, maybe I might be wrong, but it comes from what side of the road they drive on. So for us, we drive on the right side in America. Let's say, for instance, England. I've noticed a lot of the guys from the UK and from Europe, they'll come at us from the left side. So if I can read their names and base it on where they may or may not be from, and if they got a mic on and they're speaking, and I can see or listen to their language, I can figure out where they might hit me from, right? Like, alright, may or may not make sense. For me, it's made more or less sense, and considering, and not to brag, I'm not being cocky, but since World War II, I have been ranked in the top 2% of players in the world. I would like to think that I am a bit of an authority on this. I know what I'm talking about. Plus, gaming's what I do. Go back and watch my other, 200, 300 plus fucking videos? Eventually, you guys are going to get a game tour, or game room tour. I'm going to show you, my nerd stuff, my collectibles. I'll show you my games. Oh my god, is he having some kind of weird glitch seizure? He is totally having a glitch seizure. I want to go home. Oh, don't be a pussy. Oh, you missed, but you tried. And I'll give you that, you little Russian bitch. Anyway, besides the point. So anyway, what we were talking about originally is, I love gaming, and I love all kinds of gaming. RPGs is probably my least favorite game, only because I have to be into the setting, the whatever it is the open world brings for me. So if I'm going to play an RPG game, honestly, the only one that I ever enjoyed and the one that I like to play the most, what the hell? There's nobody near me. Alright, guess we're going Overwatch. Anyway, so the only one that I really enjoyed that I played on a regular basis was, there we go. Oh yeah. Hold on 1 second. Let's fuck him up. Bang bang. Oh yeah. With Star Trek Online. So I am a nerd, obviously. In every game that I play, I talk about one way or another something that I enjoy. Nerd is my thing, and Star Trek is my shit. I love it. I enjoy Star Wars to a sense, but quite frankly, it's just not me. For me, I like a more cerebral kind of show. I like to think. But besides the point, so RPG, Star Trek Online was phenomenal for me. And I played it for the better part of 2 years when it dropped originally. And I was I was okay. I was good. I had fun with it. To me, it didn't really matter if I was great or not. It was just the fact that it was Star Trek. And I got to build my own fucking crew and fleet of ships. Which is awesome sauce. It is Star Trek, World of Warcraft, building your own clan, whatever it is, right? When you get to do it yourself, it's yours. There's nothing like it. But then things went wrong, as far as I'm concerned. 26, 45. My problem with Star Trek Online is after about 2 years, they made it free to play. Any of you who play any computer-based online games, you know that when something goes free to play, that is more or less the death of a game for us as gamers, because it ruins everything. I mean, when they do that, look, I agree with the whole I hate microtransactions on top of a game I'm already paying like a season pass for in some way after then buying the game and the system. I get that. That sucks. But when something like that goes free to play, well, quite frankly, anyone and everyone who may or may have not been interested in it is now interested in it, and they want to be a part of it, and now they want to play it. And the biggest issue with that is when they start playing it, the servers get bogged down, and for whatever fucking reason, no gaming company and no server company is ever prepared for that amount of people to jump on suddenly, even though they've made it now accessible to millions of people suddenly for no price. So it's made it fucking just, well, shitty, quite frankly. The lag is impossible to get by. The ping is terribly low. The rubber band effect in every aspect, whether it's flying or walking down a fucking corridor, was just, well, it's just something I didn't want to deal with. So I stopped playing it, which made me extremely sad, because this was a game that I absolutely loved in every aspect of it. Let's plant that C4. But you just can't play it anymore. And then they made it even worse. So you used to have to, in Star Trek Online, travel to nebulas and run through planets during missions and scan random anomalies, and you would pick up these weird whatevers, you know, like just different pieces of particles of things, and it would help you then craft. You could craft different weapons, different armor, different, well, what have you, anything. And making it free to play, they then turned it into more microtransactions, right? You can buy all of the different things you needed to create these anti-proton weapons, these phaser weapons, these disruptor weapons, whatever it is. You can then buy it. So now you pay to win. That took away the entire spirit of the game for me, right? Because Star Trek was, for me, every show was all about exploring every aspect of humanity in every way. And when they made it where I could just buy what I needed to have a great weapon, I'm already spending $100 a year to, you know, stay on this shit. And then I'm buying, you know, the crypto points to get the ships. You know, you're dropping new ships every couple of months that I can purchase that I want. I want the Defiant. I want the Voyager. I want the Enterprise E. Maybe you'll come out with the J. Maybe you have since I left. Whatever. The Vulcan ships, the Romulan ships, the Klingon ships. Running with different factions. Besides the point. I'm ranting. The thing is, you ruined it by... I could take the original fucking Enterprise NCC 1701 no letter and put anti-proton weapons on it that I just purchased and demolish fucking everybody. You ruined the game for me. And then you sold it to fucking Perfect World. And they're the ones that ruined it. It wasn't the original creators of this, it was them. They destroyed it. I had to recreate everything. I lost hundreds, if not thousands of dollars worth of shit that I earned collectible stuff that you only got like in the first 3 years of like 1-year anniversaries and certain missions that you could only do right now as it's going down. It just, they destroyed my dream. A game that took, I guess, I don't know, Voyager was the most recent in the Star Trek universe, and Star Trek Online was supposed to take that, and instead of making more TV shows and making more movies where people would criticize it, it would give you episodes. This was the expansion of the universe for us, and you shit all over it. That makes me sad. And one day, when the world ends, and I find the fucker that is responsible for it, because it's always one asshole. Salute. I will murder him vigorously in the wastelands that is the world. But until then, I will rant about the bullshit that is to my favorite fucking genre of nerdiness. And quite frankly, one of the best PC games that I ever played as far as an open world MMORPG.
Just like it sounds, our sharpshooters engage enemy targets with pinpoint accuracy from extreme range. They're also trained in pistol marksmanship for the occasional close encounter.
The preggy wife is hungry. Anyway, so before all of this long ass fucking rant, the original point was, I want you to message down below your favorite game type, your favorite game mode, if you will, what have you. What do you enjoy playing? Because I don't want to hear your favorite game, unless it's an obscure game or something classic, throwback, before PlayStation 3. You know, I'll take PlayStation 2, even original Xbox, GameCube, Dreamcast. If you're as old as me, pardon me, NES, Sega CD, Sega Saturn, fucking Super Nintendo. I even like Atari. Hell, I still have not a proper original Atari, but I do have this weird little dealie. So it takes batteries and it's got like, I don't know, like 10 or 12 games in it. It's essentially an Atari, just not everything in it, but still stupid fun. You know, I love my classicness. Let's keep track of the time. We've got 10 minutes. 10 minutes. That last stream ruined everything. Well, you know what? Let's you know what? Let's go ahead and start this. So, this is part of the thing. They want us to go to the bridge. We're going to talk to the commander. Well, the captain of the ship. We are the commander.
The nerve center of our operation.
Yeah, we're cutting that real short, real quick.
While we prepare
so, resistance to execute
and continue our research, we can pass time by scanning at sites like this one. On your order, we'll start our scans on the surrounding area. Commander, one of our resistance contacts just tipped us off to a site that may be worth investigating.
We have to throw our water in here.
Yeah, we could do it out back.
We have to get our pot ready right now.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm going to wait for you.
Alright. Alright, man, just like I said, we're getting ready to end this stream. This one's short. I gotta delete the last one. This is the last stream of this year. In the next 45 minutes, we'll be streaming again. Probably won't be this game. A buddy of mine wants to play Call of Duty. It's the only game we have in common right now. He's still getting his PlayStation ready for true nerddom. Besides the point. So, my ninja here right now, I appreciate you for staying as long as you did. Sorry, it's not going to go as long as you would have liked. But if you do enjoy this and you are not a current subscriber, do me a solid. And come back, because we're going to probably do some Call of Duty where if you thought I was decent here, I'm fucking nasty there. I will see you guys shortly. Remember, comment down below. Tell me what you want to see, what you want to catch. Things are going to be awesome. Next year, this year, depending on where you are, These are gonna be great. But quick shout out to my boy Gareth, my boy A-Rod, Nino, you sorry little fuck. If you are watching this, don't die, don't give up. You got this. I will see you guys next year. Remember, don't die. We respawn.
Yeah, we got pots and pans